So the FBG Duck trial, it showed us a couple of things. And it actually explained, if you were paying attention, to what actually happened to Dthang and why. So apparently, Little Durk's brother was unalived because he received a telephone call prior to FBG Duck meeting his maker. BBN! Jack Frost! What's up, party people? Aight, so... yeah! So apparently, before FBG Duck was unalived on the Gold Coast, an individual named Teezy spotted him and called Dthang. Okay. Now, if everybody remembers, a while back, Dthang was unalived, and a lot of people had the question of why would this happen to him? He was a promoter in Chicago, and he was actually liked. He was not an individual who spoke about the ops. He was well loved by many people. It was a universal thing. Unlike Dirk, he wasn't necessarily out in the streets doing things. At least that wasn't the perception, his public image. And many people on both sides, from what I heard, had a level of respect for him. So when he was unalived, to us, not the people in Chicago probably, but to us out here looking at Chicago, we thought, why in the heck? This guy, he's like, you know those, I forgot what you call them, but there's this animal, and it's like nothing eats it. It's like I forgot the name. They're weird looking animal. It's a koalakapias. I don't know what the name of the animal is. Somebody put it down in the comment section. But whenever you see these animals in public, it's like everything just swarms to it. Alligators, crocodiles. Like, obviously alligators and crocodiles aren't in the same sphere. You know what? I'm just going to go to the video. Point being is, this guy was loved. So basically, and there's a couple of things I want to say here, because also, just so we could be clear, Dirk, I don't know if he can escape a RICO at this point. But one of the things that I can say is, when you're doing a lot of good out here in the public, they tend to take their time with incarcerating you. That's just the way it seems to work. I don't know no other way to put it. You have individuals out here that have done some of the most terrible things in the world, but then they go spend a couple of $1 million in this community and a couple of $1 million in that community, and all of a sudden, the police and everybody, they ready to, let their trial wait. We could indict these guys next year. Real quick, do you remember when this channel first started? What was one of the main things that I've always told y'all? The police and the government go to where the bodies are. If you keep the violence down, the police aren't going to mess with you. If the community isn't decrepit and the drug use and everything isn't too bad, the police will be quiet. Because what people fail to realize is police aren't outside to catch criminals. Police are outside to keep the peace. The issue is, often when you're being a criminal, you are disturbing the peace. So it's hard concept to understand, but once you really understand that concept, you'll look at court differently. You'll look at cases differently. You'll look at accusations differently. Just the accusations, you just look at them differently. Now, with that being said, for everybody that don't know, Dthang basically was allegedly killed because of FBG Duck. It was revenge. There was a $100K bounty put on FBG Duck. Allegedly, Teezy sees him down at the Gold Coast. He calls Dthang. We don't know what was said on the phone. We do know that he called them. So the fact that FBG Duck was unalived, that leads people to believe that Dthang told him to move, or Dthang first of all, if you see FBG Duck, why is Dthang the one that he calls? That's the question. Anyway. So also not for nothing, when Dthang was initially unalived, there were people out there that was saying something, and I'll tell you what it is in 2 seconds. And there were other people saying, no, that wasn't true. And one of the things that people were saying, it was a little murmurs that Dthang was actually passing the word to the streets to certain people what Little Durk had wanted done, which would be contrary to what people perceive Dthang to be, as being a person who wasn't involved in that mess and he was just a party guy. Anyway, 2 hours after Dthang was shot, there was another shooting, just so we could be clear. At 12 a.m., Dthang was shot. Seneca Price was shot at 2 a.m. I believe that's the individual that they believe is the one that unalived Dthang. That person was also unalived, I believe, in this particular instance, because Durk has went on live and said, you know, he's openly, I don't know if I want to use the word confessed or testified, but because it's one of the two, but he's openly said that the individual who unalived his brother, you know, revenge had also been gotten on that particular situation. Also, when Dthang was shot, for everybody that don't know, a police officer was also hit. So I just find it pretty interesting that these police seem to always be around when these situations are happening where OTF is being unalived. I'm just saying, it was a similar situation down in Atlanta that had to deal with King Vaughn, as we all know. So I find it a little peculiar that every time one of these OTF guys get unalived, or also a police officer gets shot. So I want to say something real quick. Y'all ever watch those movies, right, where there's a dude and he's a traitor, and he's doing the traitory stuff, and then he has somebody hit him over the head so people will believe it, or he has somebody stab him so people will believe it, or they have somebody shoot him in the arm or the leg so people will believe it? I just want to throw that out there. In any regard, Durk, as far as I know, had said that the killer was unalived of Dthang the same night. So we hear about Seneca Price being shot at 2 a.m. Just a couple of hours after the Dthang situation. And so why is all of this? So for everybody that don't know, O Block has some individuals who are extremely loved. One of them was O Block Troy. He was unalived. And the belief behind this is FBG Duck, TB, and Can't Get Right were behind O Block Troy being unalived. And that's one of the main reasons, allegedly, why they wanted to go get FBG Duck. Now, I don't know any of this to be 100% true. I'm just telling y'all the information that's out there currently. If you have any information on this at all, put it down in the comment section. I would love to discuss it with you. With that being said, like, comment, subscribes, join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I get on this one. I'm out.